The U.S. is trying to salvage the nuclear deal with Iran. The countries are holding indirect talks in Vienna today. NBC News Tehran bureau chief Ali Arouzi joins us now. Ali, I know you've been keeping an eye on this for a little while now. What can you tell us about the meetings that are happening today?
Hey, Aaron. Well, the first round of talks between world powers and Iran in Vienna has ended, and expectations have been met insofar as there was no breakthrough, nor was there a breakdown. The meeting ended with all sides agreeing to continue consultations at expert level this Friday, where discussions will be held about sanctions relief and how to get Iran back into full compliance, to try and figure out a step-by-step approach where the U.S. lifts some sanctions and Iran reverses the breaches it has made and returns to the agreed limits of the nuclear program. Also, as expected, Aaron, the U.S. and Iran didn't talk to one another. They weren't even in the same room. Instead, the remaining signatories of the deal acted as a sort of go-between.
And Iran has had some pretty strong language about not wanting to engage directly. How is Iran approaching these discussions then?
Well, unsurprisingly, Iran is in no mood to show much flexibility. During the meeting, the head of the Iranian delegation, Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, stressed that the removal of U.S. sanctions is the first and most important step in order to revive the nuclear deal. It's a position maintained by Iran's supreme leader, with whom the buck stops, and it's been reiterated consistently by Iranian officials. They say they don't trust the United States, and this isn't a step-by-step approach, but rather a one-step deal, which will see the full removal of U.S. sanctions. Once that's done and verified by Tehran, they're willing to come back into full compliance. And interestingly, Aaron, Iranian media is reporting that an offer was made to the Iranians for them to stop enriching uranium at 20% in return for getting $1 billion worth of frozen assets back. Iranian media is reporting that that offer was rejected by the Iranian delegation.
And Ali, I'm curious about the end game here. What does the U.S. really hope to accomplish with what's happening right now?
Well, Aaron, ideally, the Biden administration would like to see a series of choreographed steps taken by Tehran and Washington, where each side would take reciprocal measures, bringing both sides back in line with the terms of the 2015 JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, which would then be immediately followed by talks that would strengthen and lengthen the accord to include Iran's missile program and regional influence. Now, the first part seems achievable, but extending the JCPOA is going to be tough. Any notion of that has been dismissed by Tehran, who says that those issues are completely off the table. Now, these are still very early days where a lot can happen, but there are significant political and technical challenges to bypass, both in Tehran and Washington, leaving a tricky path to navigate. But nonetheless, Aaron, the fact that these meetings are taking place is a step in the right direction, even if Tehran and Washington aren't talking directly. There may not be a solid diplomatic solution at this point, but at least diplomatic efforts are being made.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.